Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices, and it's the 17th of December. Starting with the SP 500 here on the daily chart, I've kind of got two counts. One of them is that we've got this particular wave 3 over here, and we've got all of this here as a corrective pattern, and we'll see this market pretty much sort of scrunch up around the 2500 area through here. The other count is that wave 5 can here have a top in play, and we can look at this as being wave 1 down here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, and then we're moving down into wave 3, which will take us a lot lower than the 2500. It'll take us much for obviously take us much further down. So our job really is to take money from the market. So we need to work with structures that we understand. So on the intraday structure, it's a little bit easier to understand, and it's all impulsing to the downside. So we're getting corrective waves to the upside, and we're getting impulse waves to the downside. So we know that we're moving lower. In terms of the trading levels, we've got 3,000 here, which is a major trading level, and then the next degree smaller is a 2,500 here, so that's a medium level, and then we have the minor level here, so major, medium, and minor level at the 2,800 here. There are a lot of every single number is important. Some carry more weight than others. The 2650 area here, which is the halfway mark between 5 and 8, the Fibonacci numbers, because we use the trading levels pretty much based on the Fibonacci numbers as a price ratio, but there's a little bit more to them than that, but in a nutshell, that's it. So the halfway point between the 5 and the 8, the 2650 here, is really important. And what we can see here now is that before it's dipped down, gone back up, dipped down, gone back up, this time it looks like it's finding this space here as the resistance. And if that's the case, then the market is under pressure to move down lower here as well. Let's go into the 4-hour chart and just pick up the actual trend here. So we know that we've got wave B here or wave 2 here. So one of the other points here too, I've got this labeled as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here. On the NASDAQ, it's a little bit different. We have this as wave 1 here, green wave 1 and green wave 2 over here. But this is also the same as the Dow Jones as well. So if I could just bring that across here for a moment, we can see that with the Dow Jones, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make 1 and 2, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make 3 and 4 and 5. Very clear that we've got 5 waves here. The ABC back for wave 2 into a medium level here, critical number, and then down for 1 here. And back for 2 here in this space. So we'll see this continue to move down into to wave 3, 4, and 5. So for the DJ, we can be looking down at what I call the minor level, which is the 23 here. So with the Fibonacci numbers, we've got 1, 2, 3, and then 5, as you know. So here would have 21,000, 22,000, and 23,000. So that 1, 2, and 3 make up group 1. And we can always expect a bounce on number 3 here. So this will be where the main bounce comes in. 4 is not such a big number unless it's like $4 or 400 or something like that. Yeah, I mean 24,000. It's obviously got some pull here, but it never really gets in the way of the main trend, I guess, where 25 can get in the way of the main trend. So this will move lower through here, and so far through here we can expect another bounce off here before seeing further downside. But I just want to point out the count here is quite clear, so it's kind of in line with the DJ with the S&P here of wave 1 here and wave 2. So if I go to If I look at this here a bit further now, so pretty much want to head lower down to the 2500, and we'll be moving lower than that as well. So yeah, we've got wave 1 here and wave 2 here, so we're looking for 5 waves into this wave 3 here. So currently we've not quite got 5 waves down here, but we'll have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So there's actually a little bit more to go within this one here as well. So and then wave 4, then wave 5 here for wave 3, and we can move this one over the way here. This kind of thing here, and then this one will be down a bit further. Move those. So that's what we're looking at here. So you can see now that, you know, the 2650 was the support over here, and then it's vibrated across here, but it's ended up being the resistance here. So we're on the right side at the right time with this. I'm just going to save this, and we'll go to the hourly chart to pick up this as well. Let me just get this into shape. So we've got wave B or wave 2 up here, then we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for wave 1 and back for wave 2. Down for wave 1, back for wave 2 again. I've got this wave 2 here because, you know, in one way or another, when we've got you know, the major sort of indices, the transports and the DJ and the NASDAQ, at some point they can have different counts, but in one way or another, where they need to be pulled together at some point in some way. So I'm just leaving that number 2 there for that reason, just to remind myself more than anything. So yeah, look a little bit messy in here, but we can look at this here as wave 1 here, ABC for wave 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave here, a fourth and a fifth wave. So we can look to get a bounce here, coming back to the 50-60%, but we'll need to adjust that, you know, once we've got that low in place. So we'll look to short this here wherever it comes. So we're at the 26 area here, so 2600. So it's not a serious number, but we can expect a bounce here, or support rather. So we should have some short trades in here. We should have this line across here. You may have positions in here. Once the 26 becomes the retested resistance, you can short that as well. But it's probably good to wait for the bounce. But the main point with all of this is that we need to leave the stop out of the way. Okay, so currently the 61.8% is back up here at the 2650 area here. So it's kind of been rejected here, but it could certainly come back and just touch it nicely. Because it's been rejected here, most of those orders have been pushed out of the way, so it won't be going deep in, you know, above the 61.8%. So but we do need to leave the stop out of the way. As I've mentioned before, building into the trade is important, as long as you don't overtrade. Otherwise, you end up, you know, with a sort of a very weighty situation. So but this is our next short here. So let's have a look at the NASDAQ, but just before we do that, we'll just have a look at Amazon as well. We're actually short here for Amazon and a few of the other stocks, but in all of this too, we were looking for wave A here, and A, B, and C for wave B, and we're looking for 5 waves down here for this. So basically, we can start labeling this here. I'll probably need to do those in blue, but I just need to think about that a little bit. But yeah, anyway, what I wanted to point out here with Amazon is that this is the down around the 1550 area here is the 61.8%. So this is where we're going to get a bounce in here, and obviously we've got impulse wave coming into this space. So, but we'll look for this, and we'll keep the stop out of the way for the time being, but we're looking for this corrective move to come into play here. then we can look to short across that there as well. So that will be, can look to add to that trade when that occurs through here. So we're looking for that on all these indices all around the world. We're looking for this rally that's going to come into play here before going further to the downside. So the Nasdaq here, there's a couple of different counts for this too, like the S&P, but the main point here is that we want to track 5 waves from here. So basically down for 1 and 2 and down for 3, 4 and 5 here. So once again, this 6,500, it's half in the trading levels. It's a medium level. It's halfway between 5,000 and 8,000. I know that's a long way away, but there it is. And yeah, it's not a number that you normally come across a lot, 6,500, but you'll see it in stocks. If you ever have a look at stocks at $6.50, you'll start to pick it up, or $65 or 65 cents. You'll start to see it a lot. So it's an important number to be aware of. We've really got to migrate from being support here to being resistance over here. That's what we're actually looking for in a sense. So normally the pattern would come down here, bounce off it, come back down through, retest it, and down. I mean, that's pretty clean. That's sort of a classic trading levels pattern, but it could get a bit more violent than that, but it's quite clean in coming down to here so far and coming back. So it might be quite clean here as well. So we want to look for this to move down. It doesn't have to touch it. It never touched it here. It sank into it here, didn't touch it here. But anyway, we want to see 5 waves down here, and then we'll see a bounce here, and it's this bounce that we're interested in for the next short here, and then we can move down. So we can short on this bounce, and then we can build in. There'll probably be another little bounce in here too, and so on, but we want to see this 6,500 as the resistance here. So on the hourly chart here, so I've got this a bit labelled a bit differently from the S&P. Obviously one of them's going to be wrong, but it's okay in terms of trading. So I just wanted to map this out a little bit. This is slightly different count from the S&P as well. So in this case here, coming down, we've got 1 and 2 here, and then we've got 1 and 2, and then we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third, the fourth and the fifth to make the third. So the fourth can come back, then the fifth can come down. So it doesn't really matter that much because it's this bounce that we're looking for. So once we've got this low in place, then we can start working these ABCs here and looking to short here, and then even on the second one here we can short this again as well. So we wanted this, I mean, we got it here, we want to be hammering it sort of on these tops coming down here, with the idea and understanding that the market may not reach these spaces here in green as well. So our backup plan is to have this line going through here, and we'll have this line going through here, and we'll have a line going through here. So this is sort of where we are with it. Once again, we really need to keep the stop out of the way. We can bring the stop once we've got that low in play. I'll just put it here because we're just not interested in it at the moment, the stop. So this it's just on this bounce here. We've got a trend line through here, and we've got the 61.8% right on this space here. So let's just allow this to be in here. So really, you whatever positions you put in here, you'll have to accommodate them. So, you know, you don't want to be sweating it out. So just keep it small and keep it simple, and we can just keep building in over this side over here. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.